Hello folks, Mike Carney with Kayak Fishing Fun, and today we're going to take a look at a rigged Hobie Revolution 13, one of the most overlooked rigs in the Hobie lineup in my opinion, and a bit of a specialty boat, maybe more than a bit of a specialty boat. This is a big water, wave-piercing warrior. It has really good secondary stability. So for any kinds of rough water, like it is just wonderful because of its sleek shape and length. It is an awesome paddling and pedaling machine. This boat is 13.5 feet long, 28.5 inches wide, so a relatively narrow platform. It has a capacity of 275 pounds for the seat, 350 pounds fully rigged, and the boat weighs 70 pounds. So it's a really great at combat launching, dragging across sand. Like, this is a really cool specialty boat. So I wanted to show you how I've rigged it and what I do with it, starting up here at the bow. So obviously we have handles fore and aft. This is a marine mat kit. It just adds a little cool factor, but I have it placed throughout the boat. So up here in the bow, back at the stern, inside the cockpit area, just a nice place for your feet. Makes putting a kayak crate or a live well really quiet, and just adds like a little bit of touch of class to the rig, and I really like it. Starting up here, we have a Hobie fish bag. This is great for putting fish in, your catch. You can, bass, small walleyes, obviously any kind of panfish, or your lunch, and it's completely lined, really easy to clean. Typically what I'll have, I just got this one, I run bungees down to the bungees that hold the lid here, then in the back, and it's got some bungees on here, so I just clip them right to there. And then on the back, I have another set of bungees here that I wrap around this bungee that holds the lid down, so that when I use it, it just folds up and down with the lid. And this zipper is watertight, so fish slime, water, ice, all that doesn't get in the way. So we'll keep going here on the hatch, and I'll show you what I have in here. I have the Hobie hatch liner, great option. Pea bucket, never leave home without these. Dry bags for all your essentials. They also float, so critical piece of equipment. Spare Yak Attack Omega rod holder, some lines for securing the boat off the cleats that I have, a sponge for the bottom of the boat when I get water, or any kind of fish juice or anything I want to get off. I got a kayak drift sock and anchor in here, measuring board, just anything extra that you might need while you're on the water. Inside, it's a cavernous bow hatch. You can put rods all the way down the middle of there if need be, but starting here, I have an FPV battery on a sail mast mount, so it just clips on and off, and obviously all the rigging that throughout the boat is waterproof FPV connections. So I have my Hobie fold and stow cart, one of my favorite carts in the Hobie line of kayak carts that are specially designed for their scupper plug distances. This one's shock corded, so it just pops together. 1, 2, 3. Now that goes into the scupper plugs, and I have a way to haul it. I can stick it right back in here, so I don't have to go back to the car to drop off my kayak cart. There's different options that are available on the market. For me, that's a really handy, easy one. I also keep in here my pump, bilge pump. So that's just, I Velcro into the side. Very handy. Always want to make sure that you have, between a sponge and a bilge pump, great safety items to have on board. So moving back on the boat, I put 2 Yak Attack Mighty mounts up here with a backing plate, and every rail on this rig has a backing plate on it. It doesn't come with any of its own rails, and some people scoff or think, well, I need rails. I kind of like that because I get to put the rails then where I want, and I can use the rails I want. And every rail that you will see in this boat has a backing plate underneath it, so I can put heavy electronics, GoPro mounts, even on the long poles, and I'm not worried about screws pulling out of plastic or doing any damage. Every one of the rails in here and mounting locations has a backing plate. So 2 Mighty Mount 2s on either side for putting, this is a Panfish Pro from Yak Attack with my GoPro. I have a cleat here from Yak Attack. I can mount any kinds of items that I want. I've even seen some guys put electronics up on that mount. Obviously, we have our MirageDrive here. This model comes with a 180, and I have turbo fins on there as well to give it a little more punch and push. MirageDrives are not cheap items, and you certainly don't want to lose one, so I make sure that it's leashed all the time. So moving back here, we have a Lowrance Elite 7 on a Yak Attack mount, and this is really great because it pops off to the side. I can control the angle. It's on this bridge mount, which comes with a paddle holder here. So you get 2 roto grips off this mount, and in the center you can choose to have, if you wanted to run a ball, if you wanted to run any of Yak Attack's proprietary mounts that are here. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You can even put a rod holder off these if you troll. So another cleat here on these. These are Yak Attack aluminum rails. Again, aluminum backing plate beneath these. So super beefy, can take any kind of weight that you would want to put on there. And I have one on this side because I like to keep a rod holder here for my right side. I like to land fish on my left, put my rod in the rod holder so I can deal with the fish or the net or pliers or what have you. So moving back into the cockpit area, we have, this is a stakeout pole from Power Pole, and I use this where the paddle mount is supposed to go. And because this boat, the rear of it won't accommodate a power pole, I have the power pole rod, and from Navarre Kayak Fishing, I have this power pole mount, which is, goes on with rail screws, 2 T-bolts, and then you drop the pole through here, and you just do it manually, and I find it very convenient. So really great addition, and it's a way to give this boat some more utility. Underneath these rails that I put on here, we have the Hobie map pockets. These are really deep. They'll hold darn near anything, your plastics, your baits, scents, anything that you need handy on either side. So some great interior storage. This is a Scotty cup holder. The stock Hobie model here is, your bottle will tip out, so you have to address that one way or another. So I just Velcroed in this Scotty cup holder, and it works out great. You can hang lures off it, any odds and ends, trinkets. Just a great way to class it up in it. Obviously, I can put a little thermos in there, any kind of big cup and bottle. Like, it's a really neat feature. Here, I have the obviously floating pliers on this side in the mesh pocket. I have brush grips that I'll tie off to one area, just another way to hold the boat steady. Over on this side, I have a T-Rain by Yak Attack. This is a mini shock corded item, so I have my fish grips on here. So if I want to tether a fish while I'm getting out my measuring board or camera, I can just clip the fish off, let him swim in the water. He's not going to go anywhere. Or I can put pliers or whatnot on here. On this, I put a ball mount because you can use either a ball mount or Yak Attack's proprietary mount. This one I have a ball mount on, so I can put a RAM cell phone holder. I really like this cell phone holder in addition to the grips that are there. This X-Grip model. You have a rubber butterfly keeper that goes up over the phone, and the bottom like goes all the way around. And it is a great, super secure way. Like, you are not going to lose your phone in a mount like this. So just a handy way to keep the phone there and available to you at all times. We got a center hatch here, again with more of the marine mat on it, so any tackle boxes, cases, and things I sent down aren't creating a giant reverberating noise through the boat. Hobie makes these drop-in bucket liners. I keep a couple of these. I don't have these ones rigged yet, but I'll put terminal tackle, small doodads that I need throughout the day, any kind of gear, some tools. But that round hatch gives you access, and you can push one that sits right up on the lid, and any number you could put in the interior. All right, we have up front, to protect the bow of the kayak, the Burley Pro Bumper Bro. This is some 3M marine adhesive. You just glue it to the front and the bow and the stern. So it just acts to protect your boat when you're launching and recovering, or going over oysters or any other abrasive material, so that your kayak hull is protected. Okay, moving back in the boat, we have our rudder control here on the left side of the boat, and the rudder deployment is over here on the sides, where you pop the rudder down and it goes into a keeper if I was in my seat. Now your rudder's down, and when you want it up, you pull on the other side and the rudder comes up. So very handy, everything within reach. Before you get to the seat, there's a drain plug below here that will allow, there's not a scupper, dedicated full-time scupper. There is an opening to drain any water that would get in. Obviously, you've got a big open area here where the MirageDrive is. If you get any water under the seat, you can pull this cord and drain anything under the seat. This is Hobie's Vantage, I believe, CT seat. Very comfortable, very adjustable. I can move the seat both up and down for seating comfort. I have multiple positions of height in the back where I can adjust it. So I can take the seat and move it on a pendulum, so that you can get, really comfortable all day seating out of it. A lot of people are using kayak cushions in these. Great addition. I have one for this boat. I just don't have it with me now. And obviously you can adjust the backrest 4.5. So really comfortable, well thought out Vantage seat. They even have a lumbar adjustment so that you can get the lower portion of the seat to firm up against your back. Moving back here, we have Hobie's AMA kit. This is a great way to add stability to any kayak. This will work on all sorts of kayaks, not just Hobie's, but it is a modular system where it just moves in and out. There is a 3-position click for these that you can have it riding sideways, pointed up, and what it does is just lowers the float from 3 positions that have a click detent ball here button, and you can quickly adjust when you're on the water for whatever position you want. So if I'm gonna stand up, gotta go to the bathroom, or gonna sight cast, it's a great way. Like, literally the stability these add is incredible. If I'm in really cold water, if I'm in super rough water, if I'm far offshore, it just adds a peace of mind and safety that it's an incredible utility. It takes 5 breaths to inflate these. They just pull right out of the boat. They pin on here so that you can deflate these in a second. I store everything up in the bow hatch so they're easy to get to. Just a great tool for getting more year-round utility out of your kayak. Moving to the tank well area, we have Hobie's awesome V2 live well. Like this is fantastic if you want to keep panfish, small bass, any kind of bait throughout the day. It has a 4-gallon and 8-gallon setting, so you know it will maintain bait literally all day. It has an included battery that sits up here under this cover, so that lasts, you know, I've had it running 8 hours, and this is new. This is a new model. I had the original V1 version, loved it. This is even better. Operates super slick. It is dedicated to Hobie scupper distances, so you have to use it on a Hobie or a boat that has the same scupper holes, because you have both a drain post and a plug-in tube that allows you to fill it while you're pedaling on the water. Again, more of the marine mat back here. Also on this V2 livewell, it comes with 3 rod holders. I've had it extras. If you had space, you could put another 2 here on the side for nets, like anything that you would want. It is a really complete system. Again, we have more Yak Attack rails here on either side, both sides in the back for adding flags. I got a ram mount for my GoPro here in the rear. We have dedicated molded in rod holders that are here for putting even more, or if you're trolling, just awesome things to have handy. We have a rear hatch. Typically I keep a Hobie safety kit in here. Now I just have a deep bucket, but any other things that I might want handy when I'm out on the boat, like I stuff them back here. And this is a super big cabinous area back here. Camping gear, any other fishing supplies, extra clothing, like an awesome access area too for rigging. Here I put on the larger, this is Hobie's XL Rudder. It just gives you a little more responsive handling in rough water particularly, but it is really snappy. When you turn it, that boat, if you're not careful, that is a very powerful rudder. And of course we have a rear carry handle here and a drain plug. Typical Hobie, everything's been very well thought out. When you travel, you can put the rudder under a bungee. Just a really cool, fast, sleek boat. And when I say fast, you know, it's not like it's 3 miles an hour faster than a wider Hobie or any other boat. It's just easier to make it go fast because there's less drag on the hull. It's very rounded, it's very sleek, it's very narrow, does a great job of piercing through waves. So if you're looking for a solution, a boat for big water, you could potentially run into waves, oceans, Great Lakes, somewhere where you might need to chase down schooling fish, this is an awesome solution. A great sleek hull that's easy to propel. Check it out at Hobie.com.